From American actors who became governors, the former later elected president, the latter also known for the phrase,
"I'll be back,"
to Chima and Chinua, two of Africa's most famous authors who, though not related, by some freaky coincidence, lived in the same house several years apart. And sadly, things did fall apart. To American T. Ribs and German M. Schumacher, Formula One aficionados born on the same day. From America's first black ballerina to robot ballad. From Indian author BKS Iyengar, teacher of yoga, who reminds us that we are not getting any younger, to the drama in Bahama and the rumble in the jungle, a killer and a chiller and a thriller in Manila, to Malala and Lilibeth, the former whose son almost set in the Swartz district from an assassin's bullet, the latter whose empire the sun never set, to the exquisite beauty of our majestic universe. There's something right here, right now, for everyone. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sotonye Afiesimama, and this is Today in History for the 4th of January. Coming up in today's Today in History, we have an English mathematician, a blind French educator, the author of 12 Years a Slave, and a few more interesting events. Don't go anywhere. Starting with the English mathematician who was born on this day in the year 1643. His name, if you guessed it right, was Sir Isaac Newton. He was not only a mathematician, he was a physicist, he was an astronomer, he was a theologian, he was an author, described in his own day as a natural philosopher. He is widely recognized as one of the most influential scientists of all time and as a key figure in the scientific revolution. His book, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, first published in 1687, established classical mechanics. Newton also made seminal contributions to optics and shares credit with Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz for developing the infinitesimal calculus. So once again, this is Sir Isaac Newton, English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, theologian, and author, who helped develop the infinitesimal calculus. Next, we have French educator. His name is Louis Braille, who developed a system of printing and writing that is extensively used by the blind and that was named for him. He was born again on this day in Paris. The year again was 1809. If you're enjoying my content so far, do not forget to like, share. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, email, LinkedIn, Tumblr, and I'd appreciate it if you subscribed by clicking the all button. Also, check out my other videos, including this one here, this other video as well. Check it out. Okay, so let's carry on. The year is 1853, and this was the year that Solomon Northrop a free black man who had been kidnapped and sold into slavery, legally obtained his freedom. And he later wrote about this experience, or his experiences, in the book titled 12 Years a Slave. That was made into a film, for those of you who do not know. Also, the Afro-American History Society of the National Archives in College Park, Maryland, as you can see from this poster here, had a talk on Solomon Northrop, the story of his life. So this happened in 2014 anyway. So go online, you might find some information about this. But obviously the movie 12 Years a Slave, cracking movie. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Okay, so let's move on to the next event on this day. The year was 1901, and pictured here is Cyril Lionel Robert James. Born on this day, sometimes wrote under the pen name J.R. Johnson. He was a Trinidadian historian, journalist, and socialist. His works are influential in various theoretical, social, and historiographical contexts. His 1963 book, Beyond a Boundary, which he himself described as neither cricket reminiscences or autobiography, is commonly named as the best single book on cricket and even the best book about sports ever written. So this is CLR James, or Cyril Lionel Robert James, who was born on this day in 1901, an author who wrote the best book on cricket and the best book about sports ever written. Up next is Floyd Patterson, born on this day in 1935, heavyweight champion known as the Gentleman of Boxing. So this is Floyd Patterson, who was born on this day in 1935, known as the Gentleman of Boxing. Up next, in today's Today in History, Bombay, Burma, and the Burj. First, Bombay Grace Meltzia, born on this day in 1937. Opera singer Grace Bombay. Full name Grace Meltzia Bombay. She is an African-American opera singer, considered one of the leading mezzo-sopranos of her generation, as well as a major soprano earlier in her career. She is a member of a pioneering generation of African-American opera and classical singers who followed Marian Anderson in the world of opera and classical music, paving the way for future African-American opera and concert singers. Bombay's voice was rich and dynamic, possessing a wide range, and was capable of producing a very distinctive, plungent tone. So this again is Grace Bombay, born on this day in 1937, American opera singer known for her distinctive, plungent tone. Also, on this day, the year was 1948. The other B, Burma, gains their independence today. Burma is now known as Myanmar, formerly known as Burma. It's a Southeast Asian nation. So this was the day in 1948 that Burma, or Myanmar, gained its independence, completing the transfer of power negotiated by Burmese leader Aung San and British Prime Minister Clement Attlee, which began in 1947. So happy Independence Day, Myanmar. Myanmar, independent from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland on this day in 1948. We move now to the year 2007, And pictured here is Nancy Pelosi, US politician, elected Speaker of the House of Representatives, becoming the first woman to hold the office. So exactly 14 years ago, I beg your pardon, Nancy Pelosi was elected Speaker of the House of Representatives, becoming the first woman to hold the office. Last but not least, the final B, the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building, officially opened in Dubai. The year was 2010, so exactly 11 years ago, the Burj Khalifa, still the world's tallest building, officially opened in the United Arab Emirates. On that note, guys, we have come to the end of today's Today in History. Thanks for hanging out with me for the last 11 minutes. We shall catch up tomorrow for Today in History for the 5th of January. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your support. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.